The time is now 5:39, and we will be starting our meeting. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before starting our meeting, I'd like to welcome our newest board member, Diane Crawford. Thank you. Notice of meeting. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with provisions of the Act, the Perth Amboy Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted at the bulletin board in the administrative headquarters building, mailing notices to the Home News Tribune, El Diario La Prensa, City Clerk Cupsh, as well as all other persons requiring notification pursuant to the New Jersey Opens Public Meeting Law. Roll call, Mr. LaBrace.
Mr. Anderson.
Present.
Ms. Crawford. Mr. George.
Present.
Mr. Marte.
Present.
Ms. Melendez. Ms. Oduyela.
Present.
Mr. Quiles.
Present.
Vice President Gonzalez.
Present.
President Peralta.
Present.
I have a quorum.
We do not have any presentations today, so moving on. Meetings open to the public for discussion of agenda items and non-agenda items. There will be only one public participation session at this meeting. At this time, comments are invited on any matter. Public participation shall be governed by policy number 0167. Anyone wishing to address the board, please state your name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No member of the public may address or question board members individually. Although the board encourages public participation, it reserves the right through its presiding officer to terminate remarks to and/or by any individual not keeping with the conduct of a proper and efficient meeting. The board discourages the public from speaking negatively about any employee, administrator, or student. Individuals can be held personally liable for defamatory or libellous statements made at public meetings. The board bears no responsibility for comments made by members of the public. Comments regarding employees, administrator, or students cannot be legally responded to by any member of the board or administration. Motion to open public session?
Second. Second.
Dr. Pepe, do we have anyone on remotely?
Yes, I have people in the remote. Good evening. My name is Dr. Pepe. I'm the IT director. I'll be moderating the remote public portion of the meeting tonight. For remote participants who wish to speak, we'll use the raise your hand feature in Microsoft Teams. For those of you who are calling in remotely, to raise your hand, you need to press *5 and then follow the system prompt to unmute. Any raised hands in the remote? I have no one raising their hand in the remote.
Okay, thank you.
I think we have someone in the audience that wants to speak.
You can go. Thank you.
My name is Lisa Maldonado, and my son Ethan goes to Richardson School.
I'm sorry, can you fix the mic so that we can hear you better?
Sure.
Thank you.
My name is Lisa Maldonado, and my son goes to Richardson School, Ethan Maldonado. And I just have some concerns, some things that were brought to my attention. Well, number one, I reached out to the principal for resources, for tutoring resources for my son, and I was told there are no resources. I also reached out to the teacher for extra help, for some type of resources, for tutoring, and she told me there are no resources. So I had to go out and pay for him to get tutored. Also, I've been told that there's limited to no supplies at Richardson School. The teachers don't have ink. There's no paper for them to print on. They have to print on backup papers that have already been printed on. And I also been told that, I mean, people are just telling me these things, so I figure I'd bring it to everyone's attention, because, you know, I am the voice for my son. And I was also told that, you know, this is a Tier 1 school district, so it receives a lot of funds. So where are the funds going if my son can't receive tutoring after school, any maybe like after school program, support, something? That's what I came to talk about today.
So after the public session is open, we'll respond to,
Okay.
I mean, after we close the session, we'll respond.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For listening.
No problem, thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm here. I can explain in English if someone here, please translate for me. Okay. Estoy aquí porque vengo a representar a mi hija. Ella es una de las seniors que va a hacer prom 2024 y me llegó la noticia de que mi hija no podrá.
I'm here to represent my daughter who's a senior.
No podrá hacer el desfile porque la escuela dice que no se puede por los autobuses y porque ellos hicieron huelga el año pasado.
And she cannot participate in the ceremony because there's no bus transportation.
Y entiendo que podemos llegar tal vez a un acuerdo
And maybe we can come to an agreement.
porque entiendo que no soy la única madre preocupada con esto y tal vez si la escuela nos apoyaría haciendo el desfile y nosotros en nuestro carro, igual como se lo pidieron y nosotros hicimos el transporte. Que ellos pueden hacer el desfile desde aquí y nosotros como quiera hacemos el transporte.
So if we can have, if they can arrange how it was last year, that there was a file and they would receive the certificate.
Entonces, yo entiendo que sería una salida justa para los 500 y pico de graduandos que tendrán y una salida justa para la high school, para el Board of Education de Perth Amboy.
And that's a compromise for the 400 students that will be graduating and also for the 400 students.
Espero al final a ver la respuesta, a ver si nos podrían apoyar. Muchos padres no se animan porque ellos se ponen el no ante el Board of Education. Yo hoy no me lo puse porque quiero esto para mi hija.
With that she hopes to hear at the end of resolution, and a lot of parents are not able to come and voice their opinions, but we should come in and voice their opinions.
Muchas gracias, buenas noches.
Oh, I'm a little bit nervous. I've never done public speaking, so my English is not 100% either. Hi, my name is Laura Baez. I'm Kelani Nunez's mom. We are nervous. I'm here because we need homework support. I don't know how the system changed everything for them, like math. I have no way to help her every day. I'm trying my best. My husband is. Sometimes my sister. The teacher tries her best to send papers for her to follow, because everything is different from when we were at school and how they used to teach us. And it's like, it's sad and it's frustrating. It makes me angry because I want her to be the best that she can be. But sometimes it's like, I can't do anything to help my daughter, you know? Every day it's like, can you help her, Mom? Any help, any help, any help? She's going to after school program to actually get help for math. I don't have any money to pay for tutoring on the side. And we're not getting the help. I don't know what they're doing in the after school program for the help that she's supposed to be getting, but she's not getting it. And it's like, her grades are not getting any better. And it's like, what am I supposed to do in this type of situation? Because the whole system is changed from what it used to be before, and we don't know how to help her. And she's not getting the help that she's supposed to. The trips, every year she's always asking, oh, Mommy, this year we're going to go this way, we're going to go over there, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. She gets excited, and then all of a sudden they cancel the trip. She's in 3rd grade, she's going to 4th grade. And I don't even remember when was the last time that she went on a trip. So that's, besides everything that she said, that I agree 100% with everything that she said, I just wanted to add that to what she said. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Can you just tell me what school does your child go to?
She's going to Richardson.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to make one comment. Young lady that was just at the mic just now, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, but for someone who said, you know, you were nervous and you were worried, you were excellent up there, let me tell you. You're welcome.
Once the person is done speaking, if there's anybody else, they could also go to the mic. Thank you.
Kenny Nunez. I'm Kelani Nunez's father. Well, she goes to Richardson. I remember back when I was in school, things were a little different, you know. There was a little more support for us, more programs, and more trips for the little kids, you know, to the zoo, you know, different places. And now, I don't see none of that, and supposedly there's budget for all of that. And I would like to know how the money's being distributed. Where's the money going, basically? Because I don't see the help for our kids, the trips that they deserve, you know, because they go through a lot, you know. I mean, it's a lot they go through in school, basically. And they deserve a little trip, you know, to the zoo, wherever, but I don't see none of that. And I would like to know where the funds are being distributed, you know, if we have enough to do all of that. That's my concern. Thank you.
I need a motion to close our
Motion.
open public meeting.
Motion to close.
Motion to close public session.
Second.
Whereas pursuant to NJSA 10:4.
If I
Oh,
may,
sorry.
If I may?
Yes.
I'd like to just take this opportunity so the parents don't have to wait till after the board meeting to respond to those two issues. Is that okay?
Yes, please,
Okay.
and thank you.
First and foremost, we want to thank our parents for coming in and expressing themselves. We are in the midst of many things that will be transitioning throughout the next number of years, not just in this school district, but in school districts throughout the state and, I dare say, the nation as well. I'll start with this, with the response or those statements that were made regarding the Richardson School. I had the opportunity to speak to the principal before the meeting, and I appreciate your perspectives of what perhaps you've been told, but I would like to clarify that and invite you to speak to the building principal who's here. I'm also going to ask Katie Tavalta, Director of Counseling, who's up top, to be able to give you direct information as to the support that you can receive. It's important to note that there are plenty of after-school enrichment programs, but there are not enrichment programs from everyone, as this is a public school setting, and so we could not provide individualized enhancements for students, but there are enhancements where there's a great need for a number of students, and those programs are in place in every single building. And Dr. Medina, who's the assistant superintendent, ensures that that is something that takes place. As far as individual support and help, that comes in a different format that will require the guidance counselor and perhaps a teacher to be willing to be involved in supporting your child after school. But we have after-school programs that we have that are enriching for subgroups of students that are having difficulty. So Mr. Misenik, who's up there, I'm going to ask him to come down, and Mr. Volt, I'm going to ask her to come down. As the building principal and the guidance counselor, I'm sure that they could find support and resources that could help you regarding homework, the assistance of being able to get that communication, which you should get that support in any way that we can provide that to you. The statement about, I respectfully have to disagree with where you're hearing about the teachers don't have paper and ink. I spoke to the principal. He assures me that they do. It's a matter of going to him and asking for those supplies, because what we have done is ensure that we have supplies for everyone. And Mr. Misenik, the principal, has told me that there's plenty of paper, there's plenty of ink, so I please ask you to speak with him about that. So give us the name of give him the name of the teacher, he can go ask the teacher, he can get the support for the teacher. There's plenty of supplies in the building and in the district for children and for staff members. In addition to field trips, there's going to be a presentation regarding the budget as by statute, upcoming meeting. And there's going to be changes throughout the district that everyone needs to be aware of. And part of that is that we do want children to go on field trips. There may have to be fundraising that's being done by parents and organizations for those things to happen. The reality is this, and everyone needs to be aware of this: the taxes have not been increased within this district for over a decade. When that happens, there have been cost of increases for health insurance, there's been cost of increases for salaries for all staff, by the way, and cost of just operating and opening a new high school and continuing our buildings to function the way that they have been functioning. So any way that we could help support parents to do fundraising through our school, and there's a process as to how that has to happen, we will do that. And so that'll be a larger conversation as it relates to where fundraising and other after-school activities will be impacted due to budgetary constraints. By the way, not just in Perth Amboy. If you read the newspapers, it's all over the state of New Jersey and in other states as it relates to where we are with fiscal cuts and budget cuts and money that's not making its way to the schools. Now, the conversation, I believe, one parent eloquently spoke about the ceremony, I believe, for graduation. No, nothing for prom, I'm sorry. We have moved that to the venue of where it's going to be taking place, which is what most school districts do, by the way. Again, we cannot, in the past, we've paid for the parade, meaning we paid for security, we paid for police officers, we paid for the busing that followed them to the venue. Those things can still happen at the venue. We want that to happen, the red carpet, the festivities, but that is the beholden of not only the school class that they have to fundraise for, other school classes have to do that. It's also parents that have to get together as a PTO and say, here's something we'd like to do, like many other school districts do. Yes, there have been times for a number of years that this district has been able and willing, joyously, by the way, to support these extracurricular pieces. Because we can't do those things does not mean that we don't find them valuable. The reality is that there's only so many dollars that have to be procured to run and operate the district effectively. So although it may not be the exact sentiments of what you wanted to hear, the one thing that I can assure you is this: it's truthful, it's transparent, and it's verifiable. So let's begin to have the conversation about what we could do as a community to support schools, and that includes taking a look at how schools are funded. Thank you. Katie, can you raise your hand? That's Katie. She's the Director of Counseling. She will, very lovely human being, she will definitely get you help and support. And Mr. Misenek, I believe you know, is a fine gentleman, and he assures me 100%, you could ask him, that there are plenty of resources for your children in that building, but Katie will see if there's anything else that we can do. And I can rest assured on this: if there's something that we can do, we will do it. If there's something that we can't do, we'll tell you why we can't do it, but we'll be transparent about that. So they're right there. Thank you very much for your time.
And I just want to say one quick thing. I applaud you for coming here tonight because we are the voices of our children, and we should get more of this, because this is the only way that we can help you. If we do not know your situation, we can't try to assist in whichever way we can. So I applaud you. I encourage you to tell your friends, family members that they should be here speaking up for their children. So thank you for, gathering the strength from within to come out and speak up for your child. And I know that they will be able to assist you.
May I say one of the things? I also got some information here.
Yes.
Separate and aside from the school, from the district perspective, we certainly have enough paper, and all the principals have to do is ask. Mr. Misenek says he has the paper. And I would like to mention this, too. By the viability of us being able to take a look at what we did this year in saving resources such as paper has saved jobs. So what we did at the beginning of the year is hold on to what we had, distribute it accordingly, because what used to happen was that there would be paper just sitting everywhere. Now it doesn't sit that way. It sits and it's accounted for. I could assure you, for any staff member that needs paper, there is paper, guaranteed.
Yes.
So I think what they were saying is, I think that Mr. Misenek and the guidance counselor are there so that you guys can go speak to them now, so that you can start working on the problem. So they've made themselves available. Feel free to go talk to them now if you need to.
Thank you. So,
I have one more, one more?
yes.
Just regarding funding too, so regarding learning loss, and that we're aware of that. Just so that we're clear, ESSER funds, which are funds that we receive to help for those types of learning losses, have not been renewed. So when we talk about cuts, it's a realistic statement. The cuts are not, the funds are not being generated. Accordingly, we cannot implement without funds. So I agree, this is a great conversation. And the legislators need to be made aware of this by parents as well, so that we get funded at an appropriate allocation so that we can continue to do the things that we want to do. Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you. Whereas pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B, the Board of Education may exclude the public from that portion of the public meeting wherein the board discusses any of the matters set forth at NJSA 10:4-12B 1-9. Now, therefore, be it resolved that in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, the Board of Education will not be conducting today a closed session. So just to be clear, we will not be conducting a closed session today. So now for amendments and revisions to the agenda.
Under curriculum, item number 1, approval of field trips. We We are adding a field trip, April 24th, main campus for PLP, drunk driving presentation. 5 staff, teacher responsible, Ms. Denier Postel. There's no cost to the district, and it will be 2 buses and start at 1:15. Under new business, policy reading 8130, school organization, where is being amended to add preschool, school number 7. Also under new business, approval to return student 303007 to school as recommended by the Student Disciplinary Committee at the hearing conducted on April 10th, 2024. Also approval to remove students ID 296254 and ID 307922 from schools and placed an alternative educational setting as recommended by the Student Disciplinary Committee at the hearing conducted April 10th, 2024. Finance item number 31, there's a correction to the date. It reads December 1st, 2023. It reads December 1st, 2024. It should read December 1st, 2023. And removal of buildings and grounds item 1G. That's all the revisions.
Thank you. I need a motion for approval of minutes of regular meeting held on February 15th, 2024, and approval of minutes of executive session held on February 15th of 2024. I need a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Approval of the bill list for April 18th of 2024 and all of the following payrolls of March 15th, 2024 and March 28th of 2024. I need a motion.
Move it.
Moved by Madam President.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? For item number 12, there are no correspondence. For the board secretary's reports, Mr. LaBrace.
Report of bid opening. We opened 3 bids. First bid was revision of English language arts curriculum guides. We received 3 packages. Compass PD LLC, Wright City, Missouri, $130,000. Creative Coaching Consultants, Ocean, New Jersey, $93,000. Standard Solution, $200,250. We also opened revision of English as a second language curriculum guides. We also received 3 packages. Altier Education Consulting, $52,000 of Newport, Rhode Island. Compass PD, Wright City, Missouri, $90,000. Standards Solutions, $185,625. Third bid opening was revision of mathematics curriculum guides. Also 3 packages. Compass PD, Wright City, Missouri, $123,000. Creative Coaching Consultants, Ocean, New Jersey, $78,000. Standard Solution Holding, $148,550. We're also presenting the Secretary Report, monthly financial report for the month of February 2024. The Treasurer's monthly financial report for the month of 2024. The Treasurer's Report had a beginning balance of $65,332,130.95. Cash receipts of $36,217,934. Cash disbursements, $42,188,165 for an ending cash balance of funds of $59,361,899.19. acceptance of the report of the Secretary and Treasurers as submitted and being in agreement for the month of February 2024, acceptance and certification from the Board Secretary that no major line item has been overexpended for the month of February 2024.
Thank you. And now moving on to the President's report. For bereavement announces, I'd like to extend our deepest condolences to, in the administration building, Carlos Basturo, his grandmother, Hemeleski, Lisa Abatangelo, her father, Perth Amboy High School, Vincent DeMuro Jr., mother, Mala Terrell's sister, Maria Diaz, father, Dual Language School, Leonel Diaz, Siri School, Michael Rizzo, father, Patton School, Carmelina Jerez Almonte, father-in-law, Willen School, Magda Quintana, father, South Campus, Diomedes Rodriguez Nunez, father, Show School, Fredes Vinda Beltre Mateos, mother-in-law. Also, just to piggyback off of the parents that were just here and their concerns, these are challenging times, not just in Perth Amboy, but nationwide. As Dr. Roman has stated, if you listen to the news, if you read articles, I feel like my feed, like that's all I'm getting now because I'm constantly reading and looking things up. So it is nationally, it's not just here. And it is natural to feel concerned as parents, as teachers, at administration level. So it is natural, and we understand those concerns. And I know that change is hard, but we must stand strong and we must work together to continue to help our students grow academically. I can assure you that we in administration are working tirelessly working to assure that next year is a success. And there will be changes, but changes need to come, unfortunately, sometimes, to make our district thrive. Programs are going to continue to excel. I know that everyone's still going to continue to do their part, and that, more importantly, our students continue to grow and learn. So that I can assure you. And thank you again for sticking through and helping this district continue to grow. And moving on to our superintendent's report.
Good evening. A number of things. First and foremost, the students that spoke last month about the dress code and their perspective of what they'd like to see changed. I'd like to applaud the policy committee for meeting with them. And we are going to be inviting them. Carla, please, if you don't mind, let Keith know that we're going to be inviting them to meet with the board to further discuss their perspectives as to what exactly they think they would like to see. We'll be looking at dress code for staff as well. And for next year, we'll have it formally implemented once we take a look at it. The other aspect, for a long, hard year, I just wanted to make everyone aware that it's been decided on the agenda for the board's approval this evening is the revised 2023-24 calendar. We have one unused snow day. That unused snow day will be May 24th, Friday. We will be, Mr. Rodriguez and his team, and Mr. LaBrace will be sending out information to staff and to parents, and it will be on the website to ensure everyone's aware. But you heard it here first. May 24th will be the makeup day for our one unused snow day. On the backs of what we have been speaking about with our parents, it showed up here in our board president's comment as it relates to funds and what we can do to continue to procure what we're doing in this district. It's not a matter of what we can't do, it's a matter of how we go about looking at it differently to do it. And so, for example, fundraisers. I'll start with this, and I think we had a conversation earlier today about fundraisers and perhaps individuals not really being aware of the protocols and procedures of how to go about doing a fundraiser. For example, at the last meeting, it was incorrectly stated, that a gene day was denied. Why are we not supporting a gene day to raise funds for cancer? First of all, this board and this district supports anybody who's going through a traumatic event, such as cancer or anything else. What we could not support was the manner in which that went forward. There are protocols and procedures that must exist. There are policies that are in place to implement those types of Gene Days. In the past, things perhaps prior to our arrival weren't done litigiously. I can show you they're done extremely litigiously now. What does that look like? It looks like this, that the Board of Education recognizes the value of these events, that so much so they created a policy of organized charities in which we could solicit with the Perth Amboy School, for example, American Heart Association, American Red Cross, New Jersey Central Lung Association, American Cancer Society, March of Dimes, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and others. The funds also point to were to be raised with no student participation. They must be raised with student participation. They cannot be a derivative of funds that are collected from teacher to teacher. This does not mean that we don't support teachers. It means there's no policy and procedures for how we collect those funds, connect them to one of those policy-driven, generated charity organizations that we're allowed to contribute to. Example, the last request that was mentioned at the last board meeting was talked about money that was going to an individual. Now, certainly we want to support the individual. We cannot legally fund those monies in that manner. So the collections of funds for outside organizations is very, very clear. To that end, and to go further, what I think what we're going to do on the bequest of the board president and the vice president and the board is I'm asking our director of athletics, I spoke to him briefly, also our esteemed assistant superintendent, Mr. Rodriguez, to ensure that we meet with all the coaches and have Mr. Mullins express how we can go about doing fundraisers. What are the rules of engagement, policies, and procedures? In addition, I'm asking Dr. Medina to add that to our agenda for our leadership meeting next week, where we're going to go over the fact of retraining all of our staff and leaders about how they need to inform staff members as to how they could obtain fundraisers and collection of monies that we may want to do for individuals who are in need, but also for programs like the trips that we heard this evening that we want to continue to fund. So although in the future we won't be able to fund certain things, there's many other ways of doing it. So what we need to do is reinvent how we do it, take lessons from other districts, figure out how we want to do it ourselves, and we can continue to have the same vibrant types of programs that are available, such as field trips, but it's going to come at a different design. I think, Madam President, that is all that I have, and that is.
Thank you. And moving on to our curriculum committee, Chairperson, Mr. George.
Yes, Madam President, I'd like to move item number 1 through item number 7 on page 4.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Moving on to finance, I'd like a motion to move item number 1 on page 5 through item number 44 on page 10. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Madam Vice President. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions
I abstain.
from all of the items?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I would also like to abstain from check number 68462, 68463, 68352, and 68253.
Okay, moving on to buildings and grounds. Chairperson, Mr. Keelis.
I'd like to move item G and abstain from A through F.
Second.
If you could just note that I'm also abstaining from letter F. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? And now for our Personnel Committee, Chairperson, Madam Vice President.
Madam President, I'd like to move on item number 1 on page 12 through item number 16 on page 16.
Second. Any discussion? Any discussion?
Mr. Anderson?
Yes on everything except number 15 on page 16.
Ms. Crawford? Mr. George?
Yes.
Mr. Marte?
Yes.
Ms. Odiela?
Yes.
Mr. Quiles?
Yes.
Vice President Gonzalez?
Yes.
President Peralta?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Moving on to old business. I need a motion. I need a second, sorry.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? For new business, first reading of the following policy and regulations, number 8130, school organization, revision of the 2023 through 2024 school calendar. I need a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Madam President, I would like to know if I could have the mic and promote a cleanup we're having this Saturday.
Yes.
So we're having, as you may know, this is Earth Week and Earth Day cleanup. We're doing a citywide cleanup this Saturday, April 20th. It kicks off tomorrow. We're going to do the community garden right here from 3 to 6. And then Saturday, we're going to do a citywide cleanup in 4 different locations. We're going to have a shred truck. If you have any important documents you need to shred, it's free of charge. And one of the locations is Patton Center Park at 339 Reed Street. The other location is Brighton Avenue at the waterfront. The other location is Washington Park. That's the park in front of McDonald's. And Rudick Park. That's the entrance if you was to come from Carteret into Perth Amboy State Street. There will be food provided from different restaurants here in Perth Amboy. And all the volunteers will get a volunteer hour certificate. So it's good to see the parents involved and the kids. So I have the flyer here, so if you could come see me after the board meeting, I'll hand you these flyers. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes, Madam President, under new business, our next meeting, our board meeting is May 2nd, on a Thursday. Will that be in this building or the new high school?
Still in this one?
Yep. We have, may I?
Yes.
We are still not in possession of the high school. However, they are working on it diligently. Once we have access and receive access to the building, it will become ours. And we'll, still going to wait till the grand opening in August after that to start having board meetings there. At least that was the plan, because there's still going to be a lot of things that have to take place in the new high school, separate and aside. For once we have the building, we still have to prepare it, get it ready, secure it. There's still a couple of months of work on our end.
Okay, I just didn't want to show up at the wrong building.
I can appreciate that.
Any other discussion? Motion
Yes,
to-
are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, now, first of all, I just want to say thank you to Dr. Rahman for the initiative there and giving a quick explanation to the parents. The reality is, if you go online, you could do a lot of research and see how so many school districts have lost money in the last year. Just Long Branch alone, they lost over $10 million last year. And there have been a lot of budget cuts all throughout New Jersey. I know last year there was a huge article about Freehold. They actually, just on busing alone, they call over $3 million of their budget. And if you look around New Jersey, most of the schools in New Jersey don't even provide transportation to kids to go to sport events. So, this is not something that's just happening in Perth Amboy. It actually gets worse if you look at other districts. So, again, a lot of the parents, they could take the initiative and go online and do some of the research. The reality is, I could tell you from personal experience, I'm from Perth Amboy, 21 years in Perth Amboy, and we have a lot of parents that reality is they probably grew up in another country, and they don't get involved as much as they should in the education process. They don't really know much about what's happening in the school. So thank you to those parents that stepped up today and, came up to the meeting and voiced their opinion. I truly encourage more parents to do that. This way, we are able to educate, provide more explanation, because you're always going to hear rumors here and there, but the reality is there's always evidence, there's always facts that are able to back up what's happening here. Every year we keep losing money. Then we have to make tough decisions as to what's more important, the education of the kids or transportation for certain things. Same thing with tutorings. Our main thing is we have to provide an education from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. for most of the schools. Sometimes we don't have the money to extend that education. So again, thank you, Dr. Rahman, for not only providing a quick explanation, but providing assistance for some of these parents to talk to. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Marte. And just to piggyback off of him, I know that yearly the calendar is provided to the parents. I know I personally give it out to our parents. And if you do not have the paper version of it, it's online. You don't even have to go into the website. You can honestly Google it. When I need it quickly, I just Google PAPS 2023 to 2024 school year calendar. Our app, yes, our new app. And so maybe you can't make it to this meeting, but on that calendar does show where all of our board meetings are or when they take place. And I think that it is important for parents to stay engaged, to not listen to the rumors that are being spread that are not accurate at all, and to stay involved, come to these meetings, listen to what we are saying. Any updates, we are always going to update you. And like Mr. Marte said, sometimes we have to make hard decisions, and some people take it like it's only affecting them, but it's not. It's the whole district, and we have to make hard decisions and say what's more important, A or B. And to me personally, education is much more important than other things. So thank you, Mr. Marte, for those comments. Any other discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstention? I need a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? The time is now 6:28 and our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.